Hello and welcome to my weekly vlog. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. I feel like it's been a while, and it has been. It's been a couple of weeks because we had our event. And let me tell you a little bit about our event. So, so we have these events a couple of times a year, and they take an enormous amount of time and energy and dedication and staff and speakers coming in from all around the world. And they are, without a doubt, the high point of the year. And it's it's hard to say what's my favorite part because so much of what we do is the interaction of the community and the interaction with the speakers and the material and learning what we can do. Each time I feel like we learn a little bit more about what we can do to make life better with lipedema. This past one was the roadmap. Um, Hi Nancy from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Ah, 64. It sounds like it's beautiful there. It's beautiful here. I'm in New England, in the Massachusetts area. So, um, so I thought I would talk about this making life better. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to me? What does that mean to you? I feel like when I first started this journey, which was quite a number of years ago, holy cow, 15 years ago, more than that I started to look for some answers. But from the time that I found out it was lipedema, it was 12 or 13 years ago. It had a name. When it had a name, it had more of a direction. I was able to at least have some kind of a framework. And so living life, having it be better with lipedema is just a wonderful, wonderful exploration because for what we know, there's no cure. They don't know what causes it. And really, until you know what causes something, it's very difficult to cure it. So, but oh my goodness, have we learned and have we made changes? Have we made changes to diet and movement and understanding of how to be with things like the swelling and the bruising and the heaviness and how to transform it and how to easy easy does it with it. And so it's that I want to talk about with you. I mean, what are some pressing questions that you might have about living with lipedema? What is it that you find challenging and what is it that you find helpful? We can start there. I can say the most challenging part of lipedema for me is that it's not just lipedema. If it was just lipedema, well, that would be a whole other conversation. But it's lipedema and lymphedema and lymphatic disorder. Um, so Tina says, my doctor says everyone with a BMI over 30 has it, but I don't see men getting it like women. how do we lose weight? I think that is that is quite the question. Because she goes on to say, I lost weight everywhere but my legs and arms. Um, Mostly, we've found that low carbohydrate is helpful. Low carbohydrates are inflammatory. And because they're inflammatory, so let's talk about inflammation. You get a little cut, just a tiny little cut. And if you notice the cut, right around the edge of the cut, it gets a little bit swollen. It gets swollen and red. It might get a little warm. And it takes maybe a day or two, especially if it's just a tiny little cut, and it starts to heal itself and go away. The inflammation is part of the healing process. And that healing process, the inflammation moves through the tissue and you get better. The problem is when the inflammation doesn't move through the tissue, when the inflammation is stuck and stagnant. That on top of often lymphatic fluid, which is also stuck and stagnant. Nancy, I want to capture what you just said. The diet part of lipolymphedema is the hardest part for me, and the movement part is difficult, especially when you hurt. Yes, yes. We recommend walking or jogging or movement in the pool. If you can do whatever you're doing in the pool, it helps because it doesn't hurt as much. Actually, it doesn't hurt hardly at all. So being in the pool can really help with this. And so, that's again what we recommend. So I don't want to leave the event because I think it's so important. Um, I want to talk about the ways that we stay connected. We work very closely with the holistic approach. And here's Bella to say hi. She's uncanny. Like she won't come around all day and then I'll be on and there she jumps in. Um, so the part of being able to identify what the particular challenges you might be having, what you've done to overcome it, and what you can continue to do. And so these events are really designed for you to have those conversations. And those are the conversations that tend to move us forward. Tina, thank you. Thank you so much, Tina. Tina says, hello, Bella. Also, it's around her mealtime. She likes to eat at 5. There's this cute little thing on the web where it shows the cat waking up her owner at like early in the morning. And the cat is like bumping into the owner and and saying, don't you know it's 7:03 and my meal should be provided by 7? And I feel like that's a bit like how Bella does her thing. She's so cute. Anyway, same for us. I think, I always believe in teaching moments. Like, what are the familiar things that we get used to with our food, with the way that we are, with our lipedema, with the lymphatics? What is it that we need to start being a little more flexible with? So Nancy says, why is it so hard to stay motivated to move? Why do we get so tired all of a sudden? It is part of the lymphatic disorder. There is an overwhelming sense of, you know, there's something called a spoon theory that some folks um, were into some time ago because it has to do with chronic disease. Because you get only so many spoons. They say say you have 6 spoons. So here's 1 spoonful of energy that you can, and that's like getting up, showering, brushing your teeth, having breakfast or a cup of coffee or whatever you do in the morning. Like that's like one distinct spoon of energy, but you only get 6. What happens when you run out? And that's the question. That's why we get tired. Hi, Marilee. Good to see you. And Tina says, it hurts. It just hurts. It does. It does. Sometimes just moving. And so, you know, the thing that we say again and again and again and again, modulate. You and only you are the one who knows when when it's time for you to take a break, when it's time for you to rest, when it's time for you to do whatever you need to do for yourself. And that's what is important for you to do. And that's why it's hard to stay motivated, because it hurts. And there's also another reason. Now, maybe not for you, um, Tina, but for some of us is, I like to see results. I like to see results right away. Or I like to see something happening so that at least I know that there's movement. And when that isn't present, I get kind of lackluster. Lackluster. I lose my oomph. My oomph is there when I'm seeing things happening, when there's some kind of progress. Doesn't have to be huge progress, but it does have to be some kind of progress. And that keeps me going. Also, you all keep me going. Again, that's yay community. Like, being able to have interactions with you all, to see what's needed, to hear other people's progress. Oh my God, to me, that's wonderful. If you can do it, then that means there's a good opportunity I can do it. And that is something that's worth taking the next step for. So, we are going to be, let me tell you a little bit about what's coming up. We are going to be having a webinar. We started to say it's like a master class because it's somewhere between a webinar and a master class, because it's going to be several hours on our new concierge program, because we got so many questions about people curious about surgery, and people want to know more about it. So we are doing that on October 20th. And we opened Tribe. If you're not a member of our tribe, and our tribe is our community group, and you'd like to become a member, now is the time to join. It was opened up over the weekend. We've had a number of people join. Let me do this. Let me get the link and put it in there in case you're interested, because it's only open for another couple of days. Our orientation was going to be tomorrow, but something came up. So orientation is now on Wednesday. So we'll close it out on Wednesday. And there is information for you. It's Tribe. Here. That's the link. tribe.lipedema-simplified.org. Hi, Lisa from Iowa. And Nancy, I got to show this. I think this is so pertinent to what we're talking about. I'm hard-headed. I keep going even when it hurts. My husband has to tell me to sit down when I get tired or start hurting. So glad you started this community. Thank you for doing this, all your time and effort. Yeah, this community is wonderful, isn't it? Thank goodness we have each other. And so I want to say that again, that you can join our special tribe. And it is a special group. It's amazing. It's tribe.lipedema-simplified.org. And that page will give you information and a link to the actual place you can join. Yeah, this is so important, Marilee. Always been low energy all my life, but trying to convince family and friends that it's not laziness. The desire is there, but my body hits the done factor, and that's all there is. Boy, do I understand that one. And I think we all do, because we have so many of us have the same experience. But one of the things, again, the beauty of community. Here, take your hand and put it in mine, and together we can do what we couldn't do alone. And again and again and again, I hear that and I see that, and we're able to be here for one another. And so, on that note, a reminder to save the date on March 20th. October 20th. March 20th. Where am I? Yeah, this is fatigue. This is what you're talking. This is what we're talking about. It's a little bit of fatigue. So October 20th, and we'll go from there. Yeah. So Nancy says, especially after grocery shopping, absolutely no energy for anything. Modulate. Let's modulate our energy this week and see how it goes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and many blessings, and have a fabulous